Right, here we go then. So this is everything you need to know about circles in one easy go. Okay, yes, first of all, get over the fact there's freakiness of my hand. Draw circles with a pair of compasses. Okay, what you have there is the centre of a circle. Please don't talk, please listen. If you've got a question, put your hand up. Okay, so what we've got is the centre of our circle here. Okay, and the distance from there to there is how big I set the compasses to in the first place. So that is called the radius of a circle. Okay, and what's specifically posh about the radius of a circle is that it is half the diameter. So that one there, I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing, is the diameter. So the first and most important thing to recognise with the circles is when you draw them with your compasses, okay, is the fact that the radius times 2 is the diameter, or the diameter divided by 2 is the radius. And I hope that that makes sense to you. Okay? So, key things to recognise about circles as well. There's one other fact, that all the way around in a circle is 360 degrees. Okay? So basically my compasses went round 360 degrees to make my circle. Okay? So the area of a circle is defined as pi times by the radius squared. So you can call that, the area is really pi times by r times by r. Now be careful. Alright, so if the radius is 3, for instance, if I draw you a circle, let's do one. Okay, so if I draw you a circle, let's get the compasses going. Here we go. Oh, compasses are slippy. Now, if your compasses end up slippy, ask your teacher. They've usually got a screwdriver handy to sort it out. Now, let's just pretend, for argument's sake, that the diameter of this circle is 7 centimetres. Okay, let's just pretend it is. That's all the way across the middle. And you've been asked to find the area. So the question is, what's the area? What you're going to say is this. The area is pi times by the radius squared. I write that every single time. It's really important to write it down. That way you know what formula you're using. Don't do it in your head. Now the next thing is what's r? R is 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5. You can call it 3.5 if you like. Okay, so the area is pi times by 3.5 squared. May I have your calculator, please, sir? Thank you. So, all I'm going to do on my calculator, okay, he's already managed to get a pi button up there. Okay, if you're not sure, it's above the EXP button. And so I'm going to type in exactly what I've written. Look at what I wrote, pi times 3.5 squared. So I'm going to type in shift pi times 3.5 squared. So all I've done is typed into my calculator exactly what I wrote. Press my equals button and I get 38.48. 451001. Okay, now I would suggest to you that it's a good idea to go to 2 decimal places, but if you're not certain, write the whole shebang down. So that means that the area is 38.48 centimetres squared. Any area is a 2-dimensional thing, and therefore you need that, and that's how you'd write it down. Just to quickly recap for you watching the video, okay, 7 centimetres was the diameter, so the hard bit here was working out that the radius was 3.5. Once you knew that, it was fine. Please notice that I didn't try and do 3.5 times 3.5 or 3.5 times 2. All I did was type it in exactly as I wrote it. And that's the trick to finding the area of a circle. How do you find the circumference? Let's do the same circle. 7 centimetre diameter. How do I find the circumference? The first thing I do is I write down the formula that the circumference is pi times by the diameter. Okay? Now we already know that the diameter is 7, don't we? So I can now write the circumference is pi times by 7. So again, I get my calculator out, or rather my young friend's calculator, and I press Shift EXP. I'll just put that on the screen so you can see it. The EXP button down here, okay, this one here, has a pi symbol above it. So when you press Shift and that, you get pi, and you times by 7. And you press equals, and you get 21.99. Okay, so that means that's 21.99, and the circumference is a length. And so therefore we would call that centimetres. Okay, so now where we get to the next step in things like that, and I'm just going to stop this